everyone, and welcome back to Table for One. My name is Emma, and this is a podcast. I don't know. In this podcast, I just talk. It's so simple. I, once again, like every week, have so much to say. So I guess I better get started. Before I get into my main topics, I want to talk about a few things. Firstly, when I went to my improv class on Sunday, I had a different teacher. It was like a substitute teacher, even though was the second class. So technically, I've had like the same. It's like the same amount of times. Anyway, but I thought it was interesting what he said. I'll never see this man again, but he apparently left a lasting impression, He said, improv, it's not just about trying to be funny, it's about being honest. And with honesty comedy can come from that. And it made me think, oh, no wonder why everyone is so boring, because everyone just lies all the time. Or is hiding their true feelings. Like, for example, someone walks out with an outfit. Hey, you like my outfit? And it's hideous, right? If someone were to be truthful about that, they say, you're as ugly as the garbage can I just threw out my food in. Now that's a punny joke, am I right? But everyone goes, no, you look good. To be honest, I don't know why I started the sentence with "to be honest." I'm just an honest gal. I've always been known as an honest gal, and I've always been known as a funny gal. And perhaps one is because of the other, or the other is because of the first one, or the other way. I just thought it was interesting. I don't think I haven't outgrown being brutally honest, and you know what? That's never going to change, period. I also had a group interview, when was it? On, Tuesday? No, Monday? I don't know. It was a group interview, to my shock. I didn't read the fine print, okay? I showed up expecting a one-on-one conversation. The meeting starts. There's 5 people here, including myself. The meeting starts, and it's immediately one girl just reading off of a script, while me and 3 other people are there just like, and then this other person there, who also was doing the interviews. I don't know. Everyone there was my age. I was a little taken aback. I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't know. Okay, I guess. Okay, she's reading off of the. Okay. So then after we had to watch this video, and then we came back and we got split out into breakout rooms for the interview. But there was only 3 people being interviewed. So me and this one girl went to one breakout room, and I guess the other guy just had a solo interview. But this might be discrimination, okay? Because she asked the first question to me, and then asked the second question, and then repeated the question to the other girl. And then you'd think she would ask her second question first to the other girl. No, she asked every question to me first. And the other girl got to have so much time to think. I didn't get that job. It was for a camp. I've worked at 3 camps. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I think something was in the air, okay? I don't know, but it wasn't meant to be, okay? Another update, very exciting, and my first topic of the day. Tomorrow, I'm getting my wisdom teeth out. Oh, it's Wednesday, by the way. I know, I'm early. I mean, I gotta be early this week. The wisdom teeth. But I don't even know why I'm getting them out, because they're not even outside my gums. You can't even see them with the naked eye. You need X-ray vision, okay, to see them. But apparently you're supposed to remove the teeth before they interfere with the other teeth. you know. But it's not like we get our appendix out or our tonsils out preemptively, before they cause issues, you know what I mean? And it's like, might as well just cut open and remove all my insides so I don't get a growth, cancerous growth, you know? It's like, hey, just take my left elbow. I don't want elbow cancer. Seriously. It doesn't make any sense. And, like, my parents told me that getting this whole wisdom teeth preemptive removal is like a new age type of deal, because back in their day, they wait for that tooth to push out through the gums and ruin all the other teeth first. But maybe they had the right idea, because, I mean, wisdom teeth is expensive. I do have dental insurance, so, I guess might as well do it now. But the thing is, like, should I do it? Like, it's either I do it, and I'm saving myself so much hassle in the future, or I do it, and actually they would never grow. Or I don't do it, and they would never grow. Or I don't do it, and they do grow. It's the gamble you gotta take, you know? And I got the insurance, so I'm just getting rid of them. And I want to see what they look like, to be honest. Because wisdom teeth have a big root. I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. At least I'm getting it done now. I mean, this one girl I know, she got it done when she was 12. She showed up to middle school with bruised cheeks and an ice pack and that little squirt gun thing that you have to put in your teeth. I mean, in the gums, so they don't get infected. And better not suck on a straw either, because, ooh, girl, that's an infection waiting to happen. I'm just upset because now I'm gonna look like a chipmunk preparing for the next winter, you know? It's gonna look like I got acorns stuffed in my cheeks all the time. And my brother had his out. Man, I'd bully myself if I looked like how he did, and I will. So, but it's okay. And I'm also gonna have to live on what I've called now the retirement home diet, which, is another way. This wisdom teeth, it's good for the future. I can practice this, but I'm never going to live in a retirement home. I'm going to die in my house. I hate retirement homes. They're all hot. They're filled with old people, and I'm never going to be an old person. I'm going to need to live off of cold soup. Can't have anything warm. Applesauce. One site said I can have mashed avocado, which is oh so delicious. I hate avocado. Yogurt. I bought 2 things of yogurt. I hate yogurt. Well, yeah. I can eat scrambled eggs, ice cream, which I did not buy. Oops. Bananas, but probably all when they all mushy. Smoothies. I don't have a blender. Hummus. Apparently just by itself. Nothing to dip. No crunch. And oatmeal. So if I'm not a twig until next twig in the what? If I'm not a twig in a 1 week. If I'm not what? What can I compare it to? As thin as a piece of paper. Huh. Seriously. Then what's it all for? And like, I don't know if, will there be an episode next week? Like, I don't know. Like, if I can't talk, what do you want me to do? But I mean, Thursday and then next Thursday it should be fine. But the real question is, I'm getting all 4 wisdom teeth out. How much wisdom am I gonna lose? I mean, they pull out what? They pull out they pull out my bottom left tooth? There goes all my knowledge of 8th grade algebra. Serious. They pull out the top right tooth. There goes knowing how to tread water. I mean, geez, throw me in a lake and then when that tooth is gone, I'm gonna drown. They pull out the bottom right tooth. Now I can't cook a tortilla. I did set a tortilla on fire once, but that was an accident. That was the toaster's fault. I come down, it's on fire. So perhaps I'm not losing much in the end. I don't know. That was my first topic. My second topic. So I had to wear, guys, I had to put back on my jeans today, which was really unfortunate. But this kind of is, which makes this topic quite timely. I can't believe it. No Adidas Sambas were seen though. Um, Hell, no, I wore my running shoes. Not dealing with that again. No, no, no. I hate corporate get up. And it doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm going to prove that. Just you listen. Hey, you're already listening. Ha! You gotta have to stick around, all right? Listen, listen. So back in the day, people used to wear suits and ties and dresses and pantyhose and high heels to work, which is just so fancy, you know. It's almost too much, but I just don't think it makes any sense because when you wear pantyhose, you can't do any meaningful work. Okay, I just think you slide off the seat. You know, it's a pantyhose, and the suits and the ties and it's you get it. But now we've entered this new era of business casual, which is the modern era. An era that supposedly does away with suits and ties, but is still, business. I don't know about that. According to Reader's Digest, which is a highly reputable source, okay, business casual for men looks like button-down shirt, tucked in, blazer, slacks, belt, and nice shoes. And for women, it looks like button-down shirt, cutesy little cardigan thingamajig, dress pants, and flats. Oh, okay, so we business minus the tie for the men, and women just have pants on now. So this isn't casual. In what universe is this casual? Okay, so the men is just business without a tie, and women is like business, but in a man's world with pants instead of a dress, which is super controversial, but you know how it is. This is not casual. This is the type of jank I would wear if I wanted to starve myself, because if I were to eat one morsel of food, my button would fly off. When I wore my jeans today, I was thinking, man, I wish I had, took a laxative or something so I could be skinny in these, because, I don't know, because, or just have coffee or something, because, man, just one button just isn't enough, man. I gotta unbutton that. It was so tight. It was so tight. Maybe I should have scheduled this in the morning and came fasted or something. I don't know, because these jeans are tight. I eat one thing of food and it's just I can't even breathe, And I just don't get the point. I just don't get the point of any of this. Why do you have to dress up all fancy just to sit at a desk all day? Who are you trying to impress? Regardless if you business casual or if you strictly business, because it doesn't matter, because you're uncomfortable either way. You're sitting at a desk. Who says you need to wear a suit when you're sitting down? If it was I don't know, if it was a business event, then fine. But at a desk, I don't even understand. If I ever end up getting a job where I have to wear even jeans, God. Or God forbid those Adidas Sambas ever again, I'ma just jump off a cliff. Seriously. And who said, hey, I know the best way for people to get their work done is to make them so uncomfortable that they want to crawl out of their skin. I can't do a single thing unless I'm comfortable. Give me a hoodie. And I feel maybe perhaps worse for men, because they kind of have more limited options. And man, those what's it called? The shirts, the button-up shirts. I mean, Jesus, they're not breathable at all. I mean, my professors would always come in with button-up shirts. They'd have so much sweat under their armpits, and I feel so bad because it's like, man, like if only it was normal for them to wear like a sweater or something, because that jank is not breathable at all. Like they came from just driving down the road and they already covered in sweat. Man, and then you got to sit in the sweat all day. And then for women, it's like you gotta wear these tight little things. You gotta wear like little shoes that like, and maybe you barefoot sometimes, which is crazy because stinky and sweaty and cold in the winter. And the hair. Ooh man, you gotta put it in a bun or something, girl. Bye. Now, this is like the science, because when I was writing this, I'm like, well, I can't just complain. Well, like, yes, I can, but no, I can't. So, I asked Google Scholar Labs, which is basically the AI for Google Scholar, and then it gives you all the studies, which is genius, by the way. I looked up, does business attire actually do anything? Like, does it actually do anything to, like, improve work? Listen. So in one study, respondents felt more competent and authoritative when wearing formal or business casual, and more trustworthy and productive when wearing business casual, not formal apparently. And these are all just feelings, and perhaps they feel this way because this is what they wear when they're doing these things. When you're in the office, you're being more, your job is to be productive. Your job is to be authoritative. So obviously the clothes that you usually wear when you're doing those things will make you feel that way. If someone were to always sleep in suits, perhaps wearing a suit would make them feel more tired. Just a thought. And interestingly, they did feel least friendly and creative when wearing formal business attire, which is interesting because places where you have to dress most fancy are also the places where you sit at a desk by yourself and look at spreadsheets all day. So, I mean, fancy, not speaking to anybody, not being creative at all, it kind of goes hand in hand. Another study called The Effect of Work Attire on Perceptions of Competency of Women in the Workplace was pretty interesting. The purpose was to examine whether manipulations to the provocativeness or conservativeness of female work attire could impact perceptions of competency. And 6 competencies were measured. 3 traditionally masculine. Why can't I speak? Seriously. 3 traditionally masculine, which are assertiveness, leadership, and achievement striving. And 3 traditionally feminine, which are agreeableness, dependability, and sociability, which is actually really sad. Like, if you're a woman, you need to be agreeable. If you even argue, you might as well be a man, seriously. What they found was that when women dressed more conservatively, they were perceived higher in male competencies. And overall, these 2 studies tell me something very interesting. Work clothes are worn not to be productive, but to emulate feelings of a perfect employee. To emulate that someone is a hard worker, is assertive, and is disciplined. These clothes are a way to hide your actual work, to bury yourself into the world of suits and ties, because as long as you're all dressed up, it doesn't even matter what kind of work you do, because you already look the part. Like, you talk the talk, but walk the walk, And I'm certain that the more dressed up you are, the less work you do. You look like you do work, but you don't. I think these outfits is kind of remnant of the past. These days, these outfits are worn as a costume. We're playing dress up. You know what I mean? So in conclusion, according to science, if you want someone to actually do good work, let them wear whatever they want. And I'm sure people will do more work and better work when they're not wearing a belt that restricts their breathing, or even just the pants themselves. And that's all. The people who continue to dress like this, for all of you out there who still dress like corporate, there's AI slop, this is corporate slop, okay? Even to the people who dress business casual, in quotes, okay? Because no, it ain't. Let me give you a rhyme. I came up with this one. If you can button the shirt, go eat some dirt. If you think you can get any meaningful work done in that getup, quit lying. I'm fed up. And most importantly, if the shoe is pointy, you're a hoity. Dang it, I messed it up. If the shoe is pointy, you're a hoity-toity. If you've seen a man wearing pointy dress shoes, or a woman wearing some pointy high heels, or even pointy flats, you gotta turn around and run. Those are the people to avoid. These are the people who continue to be dressing like they do in work, but they just dressing the part. They can't do work when their shoes are pointy. Our feet aren't pointy, but the shoes are. Doesn't even matter. These are the people who they're allowing this dress code to continue to reign its ugly head on society. Ugly coat on society. Yeah. If everyone just showed up to the office in a sweater, we can do away with this 1940s garb, okay? I'm shocked we're not wearing top hats, all right? I don't want to, but let's not bring that one back, okay? So according to science, take off the suit, seriously. Let's talk Koko the gorilla, all right? So if you don't know who Koko the gorilla is, hey, here's a lesson. Koko the gorilla was a gorilla in I should have researched this. 90s? 80s? I don't know. Koko can do sign language. So Penny, this trainer, bought Koko from the San Francisco Zoo, and she wanted to teach Koko sign language for a study initially, but, as it turns out, it was Koko's whole life. Because, hey, she's a gorilla. Of course her whole life revolves around sign language. So Penny claimed that Koko knew over 1,000 signs and 2,000 English words. Was she keeping count? Who knows? She also claimed that Koko could combine signs to make new ideas, and that Koko signed spontaneously without prompts. Like with the combining thing, she would sign finger and bracelet to mean ring, or eye hat to mean mask, which is kind of vague. And I don't know if there's any proof. I don't think that Koko did ever sign spontaneously, or have a full sentence, you know what I mean. But many of Koko's signs were quite ambiguous, as you can kind of tell, finger bracelet, and they're usually prompted by trainers. And Penny also just usually, since Penny was the one teaching Koko, she just interpreted whatever Koko was saying. Finger bracelet, that could mean, I don't know, like a small bracelet that could fit on a finger. But she meant it as ring, which I don't know. But Penny was the one interpreting this because she was Koko's teacher, so she translated for my girl Koko. I've gone on a deep dive on Koko a lot of times. But I didn't know where to start in talking about Koko, because there's a lot to say. But I wanted to give a few examples on these chats, okay? So the Gorilla Foundation hosted public chats where humans typed questions, and then Penny would ask Koko for her response, and then Penny would type Koko's response. And I feel like these live chats really give the essence of who Koko is, first of all, and also how Penny would translate Koko to make her seem smarter than perhaps Koko is. I mean, Koko's a gorilla. Like, Koko's smart, but Koko isn't. Koko's a gorilla. Okay? Koko's a gorilla. But Penny, of course, she's spending her whole life with Koko. She gotta make something look good. And this is probably one of the rare times where, like, the public can, like, chat to Koko. So let's hear what Koko has to say. And Penny. Or, she goes by Dr. Patterson. So, okay, doctor. Okay, the host goes. So the host is asking on behalf of fans. Okay. The host goes, do you like to chat with other people? He's asking Koko, okay. Dr. Patterson goes, Koko, do you like to talk to people? Koko goes, fine, nipple. All right. Apparently Koko had a thing for nipples. There's been some issues with Penny's employees. Penny making her employees be like, take off your shirt. Koko wants to see your nipple. We're not going to get into that one today. But, nipple is a bit of a strange answer when you're asked, do you like to talk to people? So Dr. Patterson, had to say, yes, that was her answer. Nipple rhymes with people, okay? She doesn't sign people per se, so she may be trying to do what sounds like, but she indicated it was fine. Nipple, people, okay. She can't sign people, but you taught her how to sign nipple? Okay, Penny. Doctor. All right. The host goes, Koko, have you taught other gorillas sign language on your own? Koko goes, myself, lip. Dr. Patterson goes, she taught herself. That's really true, too. That's very good, and I think what part of that answer might be is that she's taught us. In other words, myself, lip was her answer, and lip is her word for woman. So herself has taught lips, perhaps. So there are a couple of interpretations there. So, okay. The host goes, she's really creative. She makes up some of her own terms, like lips for woman. And Dr. Patterson goes, and foot for male. What? Foot? Foot? For male? Lips for woman? All right, Dr. Patterson, I'll see you. I don't know. So she's basically saying she teaches women how to sign. Which I don't think I doubt Koko has taught women how to do sign language or gorillas. I don't think Koko's capable of teaching. Okay, just putting that out there. And foot for male, she could, Penny, you can just teach Koko how to say these words. Anyway, the host then asks, Koko, what would you like for your birthday? And Koko goes, birthday. Food and smokes. The host goes, smokes? Dr. Patterson goes, well, she sort of signed food and smokes. You have to understand, Smoke is also the sign for her kitten. Her kitten's name is Smokey, so that one could have a double meaning. Ugh. What? So she means for her birthday she wants food and her kitten. Is that a toy kitten? I don't know. So she wants, but she already has the kitten. Does she want to eat it? She is a gorilla. Who knows? So, the question is Koko even saying anything at this point? She'd just be moving her hands, and that's just what it ends up meaning in ASL, and then Dr. Patterson has to type it in and be like, she said it, but it's like a double entendre. It's like a hat on a hat. Koko loves hats, so she loves doing that. Okay, doctor. Like, it's impressive that Koko can sign, but like, I don't, I don't know, you guys. So then I wanted to see how easy would it be to like interpret. Okay, so here's my example that I came up with. So the host says, "Say, French speaker, what is your favorite animal?" The French speaker goes, "Voiture, pomme." And the translator goes, well, what he's trying to say is that he loves vultures in the palm of his hand. He always loved vultures, and the palm is his favorite body part. There are many interpretations to voiture or palm, but this is what it usually means. Voiture means car and pomme means apple. So what the French guy is really saying is car apple. So he didn't answer the question at all. That's how easy it is, okay? That's how easy it is. So, do I think Koko could sign? Fine. Do I think Koko knew what she was saying? I guess. Do I think that it's terrifying? Yes. Do I also think that gorillas' brains are 3 times smaller than humans? Yeah, I do. And I don't think it's true. I love Koko. Koko is my girl. She's dead now. She died. I don't know how she died, but she was being fed like fast food when I think they're supposed to be fed grass. Anyway, that's my thing about Koko. Guys, you need to research Koko. Coco's crazy, and my girl Dr. Patterson, but I don't think I'd call her a doctor. I definitely call her a person, that's for sure. My final topic. This is only the 4th topic, but this is a long one. Did we ever stop to think about the imperial system? I initially wanted to complain about America and how stupid they are for still using this god-awful way of measuring things. But then, as I started reading more about the imperial system, the more I realized that the fact that Americans are still using this system in the big 26 is honestly very impressive. It makes no mathematical sense in the slightest, and yet Americans and people from Liberia and Myanmar, and low-key the UK, which is crazy, are still able to use it. It's America. I'm blaming it on America. Americans and those other ones may be smarter than we think, you guys. You guys have to wait, because I think Americans have something up there that we don't have. It might be like a chip that was implanted in their brain, but still, like, even though they can use this measurement, they're still like not smart enough to realize that these measurements are like not mathematical at all. So it's like how Koko signs? It's a double entendre. Hey. It's nipple, alright? So, but of course, we can't talk about the silliness of the imperial system before I address the controversy. That is that Canadians also use the imperial system sometimes. Mostly for pounds for like weight of any kind. That's what we kind of get. And then feet for height, but like not feet for anything else, which is a bit weird. Because like pounds make sense for everything, but like don't tell me like how long a couch is in feet. But tell me how tall someone is in feet, you know? We also use Fahrenheit for pools, but none of us understand it. We just set the temperature and move on. So Canadians are just as guilty for keeping imperial alive as Americans. Of course, we have to take this from Americans. It's okay. Let's talk about the history of the metric system first, and then the history of the imperial system, because we need to compare the grace and the beauty of the metric system to the bing bong boing of the imperial system. All right? So, I thought this is quite interesting. Listen. So, the metric system was first implemented in France in 1799. They didn't like the many systems their country was using and wanted to standardize it. So, they invented the meter, the measurement everything else would be based on. It was defined as exactly 1/10,000,000th of the distance from the Earth's equator to the North Pole along the meridian passing through Paris, which sounds really smart. Nowadays, the meter is defined as the distance that a beam of light travels in a vacuum travels in a vacuum in 1/299799248 of a second. Hey, whatever works, all right? A meter is a meter to me. The metric system is so simple to understand. Everything is 10 to the power of some number, all right? And 1, our base, is the meter. So everything is based off like the meter. I kind of said this. So a kilometer is like 10 to the power of 3, which is 1,000 meters. A centimeter is 10 to the power of -2, which is 0.01 meters. And there's 100 centimeters in a meter. And even measurements of mass are multiples of 10. There's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. See how simple this is? See how easy it is to understand after 2 minutes of explanation? Even temperature is so easy. 0 is the freezing point, Celsius, and 100 Celsius is the boiling point. Isn't that so easy? It sounds like scientists spend a lot of time figuring out this amazing and fully comprehensive system. Moving on to the imperial system. The imperial system was first defined in the British Weights and Measurements Act in 1824, after metric was already invented. So I guess it just didn't their standards were much higher, okay? So this overhauled medieval measurements. Keep that medieval in mind. And this act also standardized measurements across the board. So now everyone would be unified all across the British blah blah blah. A gallon was the same gallon everywhere, and a pound was the same pound everywhere. No more getting scammed at the farmer's market, okay? No tricking them with the milk, okay? The only problem is with the imperial system is that, well, they tried to say it wasn't medieval. But trust me, it is. There's no base unit. There's just small things and big things that you have to remember the distance of and the name of, because the naming is random too. Everything in metric is just blank meter, centimeter, millimeter. It's so easy. In imperial, you got just a random name here and a random name there. You'll hear this. So let's do a little comparison. So the way I kind of did this is imperial has 11 measurements. So I took all 11, and then with the metric, I tried to find as close measurements as possible. We'll be going through all of the imperial measurements, but not all of the metric measurements. You'll see. Let's start smallest to biggest. So, in imperial, our smallest measurement is called a twip, okay? A twip is a typographic measure. It's like pixels. It's tiny. It is 1/17,280 feet. Okay, this thing is tiny. There is no equivalent or even something remotely similar kind of measurement in metric for this one and the next one. But we'll start with metric, which is the micrometer, which is 0.5 zeros and then a 1. Okay, 1 twip meters. 1 twip is 17.64 micrometers, and a micrometer is tiny, 0.0000001 meters. I mean, I don't know who's using a twip, especially if it's a pixel size, but this is the 1800s. I don't know. The next imperial measurement is called a thou. Now this is where it gets goofy because a thou is 1,000th of an inch. I guess it is a nice round number when it comes to dividing inches, but not much else. And it is 1.44 twips. See how metric is in things of 10, but I'm already seeing that thou is 1.44 twips, okay? So already things are getting a little silly. The closest measurement to that is a millimeter, which is 0.001 meters. 1 thou is 0.0254 millimeters. Tiny, not useful at all. Nothing. Next, I think I'm going to start with metric this time, because to get a better gauge. So the centimeter. Everyone knows the centimeter. A centimeter is 0.01 meters. See how things are going all nice. 0.0001, 0.001, 0.01. Oh, it's so easy, so simple. In comparison to the centimeter, we have probably my favorite one, the barleycorn. Now, a barleycorn is 1/3 of an inch, which is fantastic because now it's 0.3333 infinity inches of an inch, which, in working with infinity is like super, makes measuring really easy, of course. It's also 333 and 1/3 thous. So it's over 300 times bigger than a thou. So we just did a big jump. A really big jump. One barleycorn is 0.85 centimeters. So not bad. I love a barleycorn. I've been saying barleycorn, because an inch, which is our next measurement, is, as quoted in 1824, 3 barleycorns dry and round, with an E at the end, because it's old-timey language. The amount of times I've said 3 barleycorns dry and round over the course of however many days I wrote this ago is too much. I look at something, I go, it's like a bar. It's like how many BCs is that? Or it's like when men go, hey, mine's 6 inches. It's like 18 barleycorns, bro. I mean, seriously, I'm not impressed. How many barleys, And, if you see someone, you rate them on a barleycorn scale. He's like 2 barleycorns. It's like probably he's like a 4 barleycorn. But dry and round, of course. So funny. Making me laugh. So 3 barleycorns in an inch makes sense. But don't forget that a barleycorn is 333 and 1/3 thous. So just remember that although the numbers from here on will be getting rounder and kind of start making sense, always remember that we're working with 0.333 infinity. Never forget that. There's nothing that compares to an inch, so let's move on. Our next measurement after the inch is, get ready for this, the hand. I know. The hand, of course, I know everyone already knows this already. It was used to measure the height of horses, obviously. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's when you spread your palm out, it's like the length of the pinky to the thumb. Too bad everyone has different size hands. Anyway, a hand is 4 inches. The closest thing to a hand is a decimeter, and I'm shocked. A decimeter is 0.1 meters, and one hand is 1.016 decimeters. So, maybe they're kind of onto something, okay? I don't know. But a hand is great. But you know what's even better? A foot. The foot represents a foot. A foot is 3 hands. My foot is definitely smaller than 3 hands. Oh, wait, this direction. I was stacking my hands. Wait, maybe it is 3 hands. I don't know. No measure compares to a foot. So moving on, we have a yard. A yard. The origins are unclear, but it is not the length of some dude's yard. Thank God, because I was getting worried after the hand and the foot and the barleycorn. All right. It's also exactly 0.9144 meters, which is great, I guess. And that leads us to our comparison, which is the meter. So meter and yard. That's what all them kids in the school use. They use a yardstick. We use a meter stick. Next measurement is a chain. Yeah, they did use a real chain for this. Yeah, I know. I thought we were safe after the yard, but no, we weren't. It's 22 yards. It's I guess it's just, I don't know, 22. It's just a number. But next, in metric, we have decameters, so which is 10 meters, and so one chain is 2 decameters, like almost exactly, which is, so kind of, I don't know, once we get into them higher imperial, maybe imperial is like metric after all, I don't know. Then we have a furlong. Yeah, we do. Which is 10 chains. So we're using that 10. I like that. The furlong was the distance a team of oxen could plow without resting. I don't even know how to even talk about that. Yeah, sure. Okay, whatever. The closest comparison is a hectometer, which is 100 meters. And 1 furlong is 2 hectometers, because we're using that multiple of 10, or whatever. So it's kind of, okay. I'm starting to see some good progress on the imperial side, okay? Too bad that's all out the window. Next we have the mile, which is 8 furlongs. Or a simple 1,760 yards, or 80 chains, obviously. Simple math. Historically, the Romans who invented the mile said that a mile is 1,000 paces as measured by every other step hitting the ground. Yeah, so it's not, so left, right would be 1. Not left is 1, right is 1. That would be different. That would be 2,000 paces. So that's actually 2 miles, or 1 mile, I don't know. And then the closest is the kilometer, which 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers, so now we're off. The final, our highest measurement, it's not used anymore, but it's called the league, and it may have originally represented the distance a person could walk in an hour. So it's about 3 miles is a league. So 3 miles is like 5K, a bit less, and like that, so that kind of makes sense. So I get it. And unfortunately, there's no real equivalent in metric. Because after kilometer, which I didn't realize, it jumps to megameter, which goes from 10 to the power of 3 to 10 to the power of 6, which is 1,000,000 meters, when kilometer is 1,000. How many barleycorns is that? Seriously. My final part of the imperial system has to do with Fahrenheit. So Fahrenheit was developed by Mr. Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. I wonder where he got that name Fahrenheit from when he was creating his, temperature. I don't know. So 0 Fahrenheit was determined by placing a thermometer in, quote, a mixture of ice, water, and ammonium chloride or even salt. I don't know what he means by even salt. Maybe it was surprising at the time? I don't know. So this combo, its temperature stabilized at 0 Fahrenheit. And he said, hey, I like it. 0. Actually, apparently, ammonium chloride and sodium chloride, which is salt, yields 2 different temperatures, meaning that making this lowest point of the scale is actually like non-reproducible. So apparently, 4 Fahrenheit is where the temperature stabilizes. Oops, oopsie. But it's 0 for us. So 32 Fahrenheit is the temperature of ice water, in quotes, without the aforementioned salts. So just water. He didn't need to put all that in. And 212 Fahrenheit is the point where water boils. So I am unsure how Americans can use this system without losing brain cells whilst doing so. I ended up on Fahrenheit talk, all right? And the people in the comments were like, it's so easy to understand 0 Fahrenheit because it's so easy to understand Fahrenheit because 0 Fahrenheit is 0% hot and 100 Fahrenheit is 100% hot. I'm sorry, when did weather get opinions based? Hello? What happens when it's -1 Fahrenheit or 101 Fahrenheit? Is it now -1% hot? That's not a percentage. Is it 101% hot? Are we overachievers? I don't know. And then everyone was like, 70 Fahrenheit is 70% hot. That's why it makes sense, because it's a good temperature. Because it's 70. Tell that to the ammonium chloride combination that didn't even stabilize at 0 Fahrenheit. I mean, it's 70%, 70 Fahrenheit. He didn't make the temperature based off of how he was feeling at the time. He didn't step outside and say, I'm wearing a sweater, so it's giving like 75%. So I'm going to just make it 75 Fahrenheit. Celsius, obviously, makes way more sense. 0 is the freezing point of water. 100 is the boiling point of water. Thank you, Mr. Anders Celsius. You are a queen. Or a king. For Americans who want to make the brave transition to Celsius, it's super easy, okay? Because let me tell you, we're not making the transition to Fahrenheit. No one's making the transition to Fahrenheit. So all you need to do is take the temperature in Fahrenheit, subtract 32, and then multiply by 5/9. So that's simple, I guess. So here in the Celsius world, everyone can agree that 20 Celsius is pleasant. But I feel like Fahrenheit has like so many numbers that like I feel like no one is able to like settle on a temperature that they enjoy. Like people would be like 70 is better. No, 71 is better. Girl, they're the same number. They're the same number. Between the freezing point 32 and like 40 degrees Celsius, which is like 100 Fahrenheit, that's like 70 Fahrenheit. But here it's only 40 from the freezing. You guys get what I'm saying? It's like so it's like so many numbers. And everyone goes like, whenever I sleep, I always need to keep my thermostat at 68. Like, what? And then people go, I'm telling you, but I think I love 67 Fahrenheit better. And then other people go, I like 69 Fahrenheit better. 67 and 69, haha. Listen, 68 Fahrenheit is 20 Celsius. 67 Fahrenheit is 19.44 Celsius. 69 Fahrenheit is 20.56 Celsius. They're the same. They're the same. Doesn't make any sense. Like, people can't be like, it's 70, it's 73, it's mild. and then they go, wow, it's 74, the temperature's so different. Like, you can't, that's too precise. It's like, what are we measuring? It's like, we're just measuring the temperature outside. It's not like we're in a scientific experiment, unless we are. I don't know. Yeah, that's all kind of I have to say. Overall, the metric system is way better than the imperial system, and I hope you can understand that now. What I do find interesting is that Americans are like really good at being like calculating distance. They're always like, yeah, it's about like 0.2 miles. Yeah, they love to work in decimals because like there's nothing below it. Like if something's like 200 meters away, I wouldn't say like 0.2 kilometers, you know? But since they don't have like anything else, because they only use mile, yard, foot, inch basically. So they're like, yeah, it's like 0.3 miles from like the store. But they're really quite good at it, which is kind of impressive. Or they're like, it's like 2 feet. It's like 2 feet by 2 feet. And all these podcasters are American, and they always, whenever a story is in metric, they always convert to imperial. But whenever it's an imperial, they don't help anyone else out with the metric, which is kind of interesting. I think we should cancel them. So always remember, always keep your barleycorns dry and round. Thank you all for listening. If you have any ideas on what I should talk about next, you can email me at tf1podcast@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram at tf1podcast. And that's about it. We'll see if there's even an episode next week. Oh, jeez. Wisdom tooth. Anyway,